Oh, and Councilor Sullivan, go for it.
Thank you. So a couple of things. I just want to clarify one point about what I was saying is these are the things that put the council in an unfavorable light.
And from what I see, that you can't even get through a conversation or anyone else's input, it looks terrible from out here. Like, of course it hasn't gotten better. You can't even have a conversation in here anymore without somebody walking out or calling for a lawyer or going, oh no, you can't say that, and over people. Just wait, or just get out, just leave. If you can't handle the comment, just walk out and come back when you think that they're done hurting your feelings. And
this is the point that I'm trying to make is, I'm not saying anybody's intending to be unethical.
The irony in this is amazing to me.
To get that, let's let the truth be told. So that was a lie, 2 lies actually, about when it happened.
Madam President, are we going to have people at the jail calling
Jourdain?
cars? That's not
I reclaim my time.
The insinuation of unethicalness. It was just not too long ago where people were offended because they were called a liar. But now the accusations of someone being unethical is being thrown around.
It's that these type of things, when they come in after the deadline to file, when no other candidates can run for these positions.
That this is not new information. We didn't just start talking about this. This came out of HR. I want to say at least 6 months ago. I could be wrong, but it definitely came out before people pulled papers. So anyone who would have pulled papers would have known that there would have possibly been an increase, on the table for city councilors or the mayor. So
listen very carefully to what I said. I said that you could be accused of that because nobody else is going to get this money other than the mayor, Joshua Garcia.
I'm not voting for the mayor. No, not for the mayor, not for me, not for any of you, for the people who say, I want to put my hat in the ring, but financially I can't afford it.
I'm not giving myself a raise because I could potentially lose. Not giving the mayor a raise, not even trying to give the mayor a raise.
January, you are voting. No other person can run. The election is a fait accompli. He's going to get it. More power to him. But on January 1st, you are voting to give him $30,000 a year.
So if you didn't run for mayor because you didn't like the number at the time, well, maybe you should pay more attention to city council meetings. And if you ran only because of that, I don't think you're the person for the job anyway. So,
and for that matter, as I even said at large, 3 of the 6 of us are guaranteed re-election because there's only 9 people running. It's basic math, right? So the point is, why we have never done it that way is because we didn't want to be accused of doing that.
The people who do run for office, they have some privilege, right? Like, you have to be able to afford to sit here. You have to be able to support yourself somehow. Like, I don't think that anybody runs because of what we're paid, because it's not enough. We basically make like 2 cents an hour if you start to calculate what we actually take home.
So that means that only certain individuals will sit in these chairs.
We're saying that we're putting ourselves and voting for ourselves, but people are playing political games in the background, asking people to run, not knowing who they are, not knowing their backgrounds, having them come forward to try to run and try to control the council.
Saying, you're a this and you're a that, and name calling.
And listen, so Councilor, as an attorney, I would hope that you're familiar with the case that the public can come and say the F-bomb at me for all I care. I have to listen. And that is how I'm running the meeting this evening.
Okay, that's the distinction that apparently some in the room can't pick up on. As far as this point goes that, well, we've been discussing this for 2 years and we've been debating it and it's stuck in the jacket.
So I wanted to name that this order was originally filed May 2nd of 2023.
I can't help how long it takes folks to get to a point to get things out of their jacket and get them up here for a vote.
It was taken up in committee a year later.
But there's a game being played where procrastination is being put back and back and back. The same thing is happening with municipal finance.
April 27th, 2024. And at that point, a number of counselors, again, these are procrastination, delay tactics, said, well, now the information seems old. Could you give us new information? I feel like we need updated information. That updated information was then found, was then re-brought to the committee. Looked at it October 9th of 2024, then again in November 13th of 2024, and then we brought it up again June 16th, 2025. So it's not like this is coming up out of left field.
The problem we have is a lot of these things stay in the jacket, and they don't get pushed forward. So we're not doing it to give Josh a $30,000 raise. We're doing it because it was brought up in 2023 when the HR director was told to get numbers.
All right? But the fact of the matter is, this was not a done deal until right now. Here's the vote, yes or no.
But ideally, we need to get the work going, and we need to get things moving. Sorry it's taken so long for this to come out. Had the committee gotten together and agreed to some of this stuff a long time ago, even if it would have came out with no recommendation, it would have came out a long time ago. Go back and look at the meetings. There's a bunch of meeting dates that we came up on this. You could say that it just came up all of a sudden and that we just rushed it through now because all of a sudden July 29th passed. If that fits your narrative, great. Go ahead and do your thing. Run with it.
And if the council were to vote yes, and I don't think they will, but I think if the council were to approve this, then that's for us only and for the mayor.
But these were not proposed by city councilors. These were proposed by the HR director of the city.
Director of HR, Human Resources, who wanted to share, we should be updating these. And here is a comparison between you and other towns, because councilors are starting to bring up their concerns that, one, we weren't seeing a lot of people interested in running for office. And also that, it was part of a wider concern. Look at all these positions. We're having a hard time holding on to employees. There's a lot of turnover. And it's very expensive to retrain people, to find people, all of that. And there's just hidden costs every time we lose an employee.
The benefit of anybody, if you wanted to seriously have this, it should have been taken for a vote, yes or no, at the end of last year or the beginning of this year.
Maybe you should pay more attention to city council meetings.
When everybody had an opportunity to run for that, for all the good points that people made about, I have to sacrifice a lot of time to be here, time away from my job. Everybody in this room works hard.
I'm just telling you that if you do your research and you do your homework, you'll see that we've been meeting on this for quite some time already. It didn't just pop up last week or 2 months ago.
And as far as, I was the president for 6 years, okay, as everybody knows.
I knew everyone was going to be against it, and I knew they were going to take this moment to grandstand and do their thing that they always do. I knew that. That's fine.
And I signed up for that. It's a totally voluntary thing, right? If you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Just wait, or just get out, just leave. If you can't handle the comment, just walk out and come back when you think that they're done hurting your feelings. And
you don't get extra points because you sign up for something that's a voluntary thing. And I'm not just saying present company, I'm including myself, I'm including Joe and Todd, all the presidents I've been involved in. We signed up for that. I want more money because it's a totally voluntary thing. If you don't want to do it, right, then don't do it.
City council president right now makes $1,000 more than what anyone else makes. It's insane, the amount of work that we're asking our city council president to do for $1,000 a year. It is a thankless, very hard task. They represent us at every ceremonial thing. They take every call. They're answering every email. They're in lots of organizational meetings. I think that position deserves more than $1,000 more than the people who are sitting in this side.
Out of all the city council presidents that I've worked under, no one has worked as hard as Tessa Murphy Romboletti.
And as far as the rest of it, this is just basic fairness to the democratic process.
The First Amendment,
okay, here we go.
Sir,
First Amendment. So this is all prearranged.
No.
Okay.
What do you mean prearranged, Councilor?
You have to give everybody knows what the deal is for the position in advance, so they have an opportunity to make a fully informed decision whether they run or not.
Izzy and I said, we'll be city councilors for free.
And for the record, I'm not doing this for the money, because I will, for the record, I get in a month, $719. I don't hide that. $719 I get for the work I do for the city, and I don't do it for the money. I want to be clear. I do not do it for the money. Okay?
And the salary for the job matters, because how do we want to be accused that somebody said, well, I couldn't afford to run for mayor at 100?
Some privilege.
But you know what? If I knew the job paid 130,
some privilege, right?
maybe I could have afforded to run. I could have given up my current job or whatever and run.
They have some privilege, right?
That's not fair to voters.
Right? And some of us don't have that good jobs.
That's not fair to candidates.
If someone if someone wants to run for mayor because it went up to 130, ideally you'd think that you don't want that person as a mayor. They're only going for the job for the money. They're not actually doing it to actually be the mayor of the city.
And that's why we don't do that. And but as far as where do we go from here? Well, the where do we go from here has another of open items that I mentioned.
And every time it's come up, the same councilors have aired a whole different slew of concerns. And they're different every time.
And that is the fact that, one, let's see what happens with the mayor's duties in the central government.
Again, these are procrastination, delay tactics.
And number two, we have ample opportunity, not for the current mayor, but for 2030, that we could consider an increase.
There's a game being played where procrastination.
For the next, whoever is elected in the next 4-year term. So that's the way it's always been done.
What are you interested in doing? Do you want to keep things exactly as they are? And our HR director was doing what we tasked her to do, which was to go find us what would bring us up to comparative rates in the towns that surround us.
The beginning of a term, but a term when it wasn't already decided. And that's the part that people are missing.
I don't think anything's stuck in stone. Let's move this forward to after January, after that swearing in takes place, and then let's negotiate reasonable raises.
It's not about, well, we talked about it as a maybe. I didn't know.
Maybe you should pay more attention to city council meetings.
And I follow this. I'm sitting here as one of the 13. If you told me 6 months ago.
And what it sounds like, it's been in committee since March.
Well, maybe on September 2nd, they're going to take a vote to pass that. I would have had no idea.
This is on there for 2 years.
And there's nobody following what goes on in this room closer than me.
I knew they were going to take this moment to grandstand and do their thing that they always do.
Right? So there you have it. That's why we, in my opinion, have to vote no on this. I think it's the only correct vote.
I'm just not hearing any compromises. That doesn't seem in any way realistic to me.
And we go back to the drawing table and discuss it for the next term.
We need to work together, and it's going to be hard to work together if the council can't work together, because we are playing political games in the background. This is not Game of Thrones. This is not House of Cards. It's none of that nonsense. This is real life, not a movie, not a show.
What the merits are, and again, there's a lot of changes being made in the mayor's position, and whether or not, for the council position as well. And by the way, it was $2,000 that we made the last change for council salary. Thank you.
I'm not being unethical. I am not trying to manipulate what the city is going to look like for the next 10 to 12 years. That is not my goal.
I know I'm doing my things right. The stuff these other one specific counselor is doing it. It's the wrong way, but whatever.